Hi, this is Theo from PocketBlocks.com. Today I'm going to compare the pressure sensitivity between the iPad Pro and the Surface Pro 4. To keep this video short, I'm just going to compare the drawing aspect. So I'll put out a more comprehensive comparison video review in a separate video. But today let's take a look at how good they are when it comes to pressure sensitivity. Let me start with the iPad Pro first. For the best drawing experience, you have to get the Apple Pencil, because this is the best stylus for use with the iPad Pro. The app I'm going to use today is called Medibank Paint, because there is one version for Windows as well. I want to use the same software. Let me launch this. I have already created a new file. Let me zoom in closer to show you the strokes I want to produce today. Main advantage of the Apple Pencil is the pressure sensitivity. It's able to detect even very light touches. So I'm just going to apply the least amount of pressure I can on this screen, just barely touching the screen, and it's able to detect that and produce a very thin line. Of course, you can get thinner by adjusting the settings, but this is really good because I'm just barely touching the screen. Let me clear this screen and show you the transition between thin and thick. So if you press down harder, you can get a rather nice transition, and it's very easy to control that transition, and the transition is very smooth. Now I'm going to show you what you can do when you just tap the screen lightly. If you tap the screen lightly, the iPad Pro is able to detect that as well, and it will put the dots onto the screen, and this is really very good in terms of sensitivity. So you can just tap it like you would with an ink pen, a real ink pen or a pencil in real life. And for pressure sensitivity, I'm now putting my palm onto the screen, and I'm just going to do some drawing. There's no problem with palm rejection at all. So this is really quite good, and check out the lines that I can get thin and thick very easily. And the lines are actually quite, at least for this software, they come out really quite nicely, very expressive. So there it is for the Apple Pencil and the iPad Pro. Let me switch over to the Surface Pro 4 now. This is the Surface Pro 4, and it comes with the Surface Pen. By the way, the Apple Pencil is sold separately, so you have to spend extra to buy the Apple Pencil. For the Surface Pen, it comes with the option of using different tips. The default tip is actually some sort of a rubber tip that has a bit more friction on the glass surface compared to the Apple Pencil. So the feeling of drawing on the glass surface is a bit different compared to the Apple Pencil. Let me just launch the same application. This is Medibank Paint on the Windows OS. Let me just zoom into the corner here. I'm going to do the same thing I did on the iPad Pro. I'm going to use the least amount of pressure that I can to draw the strokes. So I'm just going to start now. By the way, the tip is on the glass surface already, and I do not see any strokes. And the reason for that is because Surface Pro 4 and the Surface Pen do require you to apply a bit more pressure in order for the strokes to appear. And that is the difference between the Surface Pro 4 versus the iPad Pro. With the Apple Pencil, you can glance very lightly on the screen. As long as the tip is on the glass surface, the iPad Pro will give you the lines. But with the Surface Pro 4 and the Surface Pen, you do need to apply a bit more pressure. So that, to me, I think is quite a significant difference between the iPad and the Surface. Because in real life, if you were to use an actual pencil, if you were to use maybe an ink pen, a dip pen, as long as you move the dip pen on the surface, it will give you a line. So in that respect, the iPad Pro is better. So now I'm just going to show you what the Surface Pro 4 can do if I apply a bit more pressure. So as I apply a bit more pressure, you can see the lines starting to come out. And you might notice that there is some jitter. Yes, there is some jitter, so when you're drawing diagonal lines a bit slowly, you might see the jitter effect. And that could be an issue if you are drawing something like a detailed illustration where you need to draw a bit slower, like you are drawing a portrait where you need the accuracy, so you have to go a bit slower. That is when you have to deal with the jittering effect. If you are going to draw like very fast, no problem at all. It's very smooth, and you can see that the transition between the thick and thin lines is very smooth as well. If I press on the screen, I just tap on the screen, yes, the dots still come out. So this is also similar to the iPad Pro. Not much difference here. So is there going to be any issues when drawing on the Surface Pro 4? It really depends on what you're drawing. For me, most of the time I don't have much complaints. It's a very satisfactory experience. And the reason for that is because usually I'm drawing at normal speed like this. I don't see the jitter line effect unless I'm drawing really very slowly. And with regards to pressure sensitivity, well, it does take a bit of time to get used to it, but after you get used to it, it's not much of a problem as well. Let me just do some quick strokes. When it comes to drawing satisfaction experience, I'll give the iPad Pro 5 out of 5 stars and the Surface Pro 4 maybe 4 to 4.5 out of 5 stars. The pressure sensitivity is slightly better on the iPad Pro, especially when it comes to drawing very faint lines. The iPad Pro gets it right. With the Surface Pro 4, if you want to draw faint lines, you do need some practice. So it does take a bit of time to get used to drawing very faint lines, very light lines on the Surface Pro 4. Another thing is it feels much more natural to draw with the Apple Pencil on the iPad Pro, maybe because of the design of the pencil itself. It's longer, the tip is hard, and the Surface Pen is a bit shorter. There's also a hard tip and a rubber tip, but the rubber tip gives you a bit more friction, hence a bit more control. So the differences are there. But to me, I feel that it's a bit more natural to draw on the iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil. So which tablet do I recommend? It really depends on what you want to do on the tablet. If you just want to draw and do nothing but drawing, then get the iPad Pro. If you want to do something extra, do something more, you want to plug in a USB thumb drive, you want to upload a picture to DeviantArt, get the Surface Pro 4. I think the Surface Pro 4 can do much more things than the iPad Pro, but the iPad Pro excels at drawing. So that's it for my review today. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comment section below. I will try to answer them. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, do so for more sketching tips, techniques, art product reviews, and more. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.